Okay, so this is just a short video. It's got camera woman Jess behind the camera there while I drive. This one's to do with the processing for commercial pet food or private pet food, or just processing for pet food. This is not a how-to, this is more around the legalities and that sort of thing around doing it. Bear with me a second, guys. Right, so I was asked by someone in the comments if I could go over the commercial preparation of dog food and all of that, to which I said yes, I could. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it in two parts here, and then there will be a follow-up how-to video that actually goes over everything as well and shows you what you're looking for and how to do it. Now, before I go any further, let it be said that I am not, what's the right word here? I'm not an authority on the rules or the regulations, okay? I'm not the guy that says what you can and can't do. I can only give you rough outlines and rough advice based on my own experience and working in the industry myself. Now, with that said, if you are looking at getting into the commercial pet food with possums, there's a few things that you need to look into. The first is you need to be certified, right? So you need to have your MPI paperwork, which you can do, and it's free to do. You need to speak to the buyer, so the commercial buyer of the possum, as to what they require, as to the steps that you'll need to take, and what it is exactly that they buy. Now, I haven't sold possum commercially, like to big brand pet food companies, for quite a number of years. When I did, we were put through some basic training that taught us how to identify things such as tuberculosis, wobbly possum disease, those kinds of things in a possum, as well as break it down and then inspect the liver, lungs, heart, all the tissues and that sort of thing for any abnormalities or any cysts, any growths, I'm not going to go into detail on that because, again, like I said, I'm not authorized to do this. I don't want to be getting people in trouble, right? So those are those sorts of things you will be taught and you will learn through doing your paperwork. That's for the commercial side, if you want to be selling it, to your big brand pet food companies, dog food companies, that sort of thing. The other thing that they require is that you take out all the green gut. So there's a whole process behind it. You've got to take the head off, you've got to take the feet off, you've got to have them plucked right out, you've got to take all the green gut, which is the digestive tract, yada 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 yada. They'll give you all their specifics. Okay, so now for the second part of this is for those that just want to convert possums into pet food, okay, for your own dogs and all that sort of thing. Now, if you're doing it privately for yourself, you do not need paperwork. All you need is caution, experience, and a bit of common sense. If it don't look right, it ain't right. Alright, guys? So yeah, you can basically, you look to learn, you learn to look for abnormalities. Again, you can teach yourself this if you're just feeding your own dogs. It's a little less stringent, but there is still risk factors there, okay? So you can teach yourself to look for things like abrasions and lumps and that. And the way you do that is by gutting several of them, cutting them open, comparing them, and learning over time. You'll work out what's normal and what's abnormal. Whilst you're training yourself, don't feed anything to your dogs, okay? So I think that covers most of it. Now there's a third option, which is what I do, and it's illegal. There are legalities there. There's grey areas. So the simplest way to put it is I can't just go out and get a possum, cut them up into dog food and sell them to somebody, alright? Even if it's private, even if it's to old mate Joe down the road or whatever, I'm not allowed to. You're not allowed to. We're not allowed to. However, I do pet food on a private scale, but it works on what we call a koha system. I go in and I call around to different people that I know, and I drop off possum food products, and then in return, when they're in my area, they come by and they drop me off things like ammunition, flour, a new vape, because I don't smoke anymore, I vape, even a jerry can of gas. those sorts of things. All right, we work on a core half system, and that's simply because what they pay for me personally anyway, where I'm situated, having to freeze the bodies and then transport them to a commercial dog food place, what they pay for me on the kilo personally is not feasible for me to be doing that. But personally, I also have dogs, so I feed my dogs possum, and I don't agree with leaving carcasses to rot in the bush. So if I'm out there getting them for the fur, I get them for the meat too. I bring the meat back. But yeah, I don't do it commercially anymore to like pet food companies and that. To be completely honest, I'm pretty sure that my MPI paperwork is expired. Alright, so with that said, I hope that covers all of what you were wanting to know down in the comments. Otherwise, yeah, stay tuned. I will be making an actual video on how to break down a possum and everything, but again, they'll only be for private pet food. It's not up to their stringent regulations that they follow. It's only what you'd need to do if you wanted to turn a possum into food for your own dog, basically. So yeah, anyway, better keep my eyes on the road, focus on the driving. Happy trapping, safe shooting, and all the best, guys. Thanks for watching.